Where'd Michael go?
What time is it? 11 o'clock?
Time for Babylon. Night's just starting.
The heart and soul of Queer as Folk is the dance mecca, Club Babylon. Like the bar in Cheers, it's the place where everybody knows your name and your sexuality.
Babylon is to Queer as Folk what the coffee house is to Friends, what the bar is to Cheers.
Oh, it's her.
Babylon obviously is like the watering hole, and it's where you see all these different storylines intersect. It is ground zero of that peer group.
First they flood the dance floor of Babylon with soap suds.
Then everyone strips down to their undies.
Or less. And dances. Cheek to cheek.
To make Babylon really authentic, Queer as Folk started shooting the scenes in a real club.
In the pilot, we shot at a club called Government here in Toronto. It's a very big club, and it was full of extras, just like jam-packed. It was like the gay Playboy Mansion.
My God, have you ever seen anything more beautiful?
Venice at sunset.
Fine, you go down the Grand Canal, I'll on him.
We've had people who have been requested to drop their pants in a certain scene, and they'll walk for half an hour through the club naked before somebody catches them and realizes, no, not until we're rolling.
Jesus, look at him. People were having sex full on, not minding that other people are walking by with lights and things.
Every time somebody yelled cut, everybody was sneaking off into all the rooms to try and get him some. What would you do if you actually had to go?
They had to put up a sign in the bathroom because people were f***ing in the girls' bathroom.
While shooting in a real club made things feel authentically gay, it was the tricks of the trade that stretched the actors' vocal cords to the limit.
It's for us to be together, the way we used to be.
They're dancing, and then as soon as the dialogue is about to start, they shut the music off.
A rage teeny for you, and a Zephyr Politan for me.
Isn't that adorable? Leave it to Brian.
I'm trying to explain to you that I love you. And you have to speak really loud because supposedly the music is still playing.
When it comes to throwing parties, he's almost in the same league as me.
Damn right, right? Are our kids unbelievable or what? They absolutely are.
These are the challenges for us as actors on Queer as Folk. Everybody thinks the sex scene? No, it's the idiotic club speak in Babylon.
The writers and producers faced a challenge of their own, injecting real romance into the sex-crazed world of Queer as Folk.
Do you want to come to my prom with me?
Are you out of your mind?
The first season's real climax was all about the cynical Brian satisfying his boy toy Justin by going to his prom.
Brian is not a character who normally makes romantic gestures. I mean, he's the kind of guy who will see a hot guy and behind the staircase he'll pull down his pants.
That's sort of the ultimate fairy tale, this man that you have fallen completely in love with. He surrenders with this incredible, dramatic, valiant gesture.
Mind if I borrow your date?
Shooting this scene was a very special moment for gay actor Randy Harrison.
Through Justin, I got to, especially in the high school environment, sort of do a lot of things that I wish I had or had been empowered enough to do when I was in high school. It was liberating.
You can dance, every dance with the guy.
That's classic Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers, only it's Fred Astaire, you know.
It was a night of surprises for everyone involved, especially the scene's prudish extras.
We staged the scene, we rehearsed the scene, but we didn't do the part where the boys kiss. This came as a complete surprise to all the extras. And when we did it, people were like,
You could hear that sound, like what are they doing? And some of them had a natural response. Those two guys are making out.
The scene was so inspirational that one teenager took it to heart and tried to bring his real boyfriend to his real prom.
Mark Hall was, at the time, a 17-year-old teenager going to a Catholic school.
A young, out, gay man had a boyfriend. He had seen the episode where Brian came to Justin's prom.
It's the best night of my life.
And wanted to bring his boyfriend to the prom with him.
As a person, we accept you, but we cannot condone or allow homosexual behavior at our school function. That motion is unanimous.
He took it to the school board. They said no. A radio station offered to throw him his own prom. Kids in his class signed a petition saying that they would go to the other prom, not to their own, if Mark wasn't allowed to bring his boyfriend.
Being rejected by your own school is very heartbreaking. I think that everyone is entitled to be who they are, rather than hide and feel this rejection.
Eventually, the courts overruled the Catholic school board and told them that they had to allow him to bring his boyfriend to the prom.
I wanted him to come so bad.
I know.
The Queer as Folk team was so touched by Mark's story, they decided to make him a surprising offer.
We just picked up the phone one day and called him at home and said, "Do you want to come to the set of Queer as Folk?" And he was over the moon.
He walked on the set, and I basically burst into tears. I was just so proud of him and so proud to see him.
We put Mark Hall as an extra behind Ted and Emmett at the bar in Babylon as they're having their conversation and looking into each other's eyes, and finally they kiss.
Jesus, what the hell they put in those drinks? Bartender, 2 more.
And Mark Hall's right behind them with a pink boa around his neck.
While Mark Hall had the time of his life playing a dance club extra, Scott Lowell's transformation into a crystal meth addict was a whole different story.
I don't want to be me anymore. I hated that person.
Ted started spiraling down into crystal meth. It was incredibly difficult just to watch Scott put himself through that.
My name is Blake, and I'm your counselor.
Meth addicts don't really care about food, so Scott needed to find a way to shed a few not-so-extra pounds.
Just wanted to get that gaunt look that crystal meth addicts have.
You look exhausted. Didn't you get any sleep?
He had lost so much weight and was just really tortured by the demons of the character.
Also, at some point, he just kept losing weight because he's carrying all Ted's issues inside of him.
Scott also began to withdraw from the rest of the cast and crew.
It's hot.
We had to work out hand signals sometimes of when I was there and when I could actually speak to people or not. A happy face or a sad face. He would just kind of be like,
I don't need you criticizing me and making me feel like okay?
Scott found one sweet way to get through some tough days of shooting.
I got a box of Frango mints, which were one of my favorite things. The day we were shooting my last scene for the season, we had that box taped right underneath the camera lens. As soon as that thing was done, I just dove into those and ate those. And I went out for dinner. We had pizza and a pint of Guinness, and then I went down the street and I got these crepes with Nutella and bananas in them. I was so hungry that it was awful.
Coming up, the answer to the ultimate question: who's really gay and who's really not?
I am an artist. What I do requires concentration.
There were a couple I'm not too sure about.
Hal Sparks discovers that his character is sort of a drag.
Michael! Is that you?
It's Hal. I didn't even recognize him.
Next, as VH1 goes inside Queer as Folk.